Last Sunday, we showed you the Church Missionary Society early missionaries, who included Alexander Mackay, how he came to settle at Natete, and some of the fossils that he left at the site. Today, we try to understand how the headquarters of the diocese were not installed at Natete, but rather Namirembe, where they are currently. We also seek to understand how the diocese came to be created.
And during those religious wars, many things happened. Mwanga was taken away from his throne and was replaced by a Muslim king called Kalema. Later, the Anglicans and the Catholics regrouped and brought Mwanga back. So when they brought Mwanga back, he accepted it. He gave them back. The Catholics, he gave Rubaga, and the Protestants, he gave Namirembe. In 1960, the Diocese of Uganda was further divided into the Diocese of Namirembe, the Diocese of West Uganda, the Diocese of Upper Nile, and then the diocese which takes Ankole and Kabale.
Namirembe remains a key diocese in the formation of several other dioceses, but what could have prompted the disintegration?
There was a problem of looking for a seat or a seat for the Archbishop. Should the Archbishop be in Namirembe, or should the Archbishop, where should he be when he becomes to be at Namirembe? What about Bishop of Namirembe? So they agreed that they create another diocese where the Archbishop would sit as a bishop and do his work of office at Namirembe. So Kampala Diocese was created. From Kampala Diocese, we have Busoga. Busoga was part of Namirembe Diocese. Busoga was also created out of Namirembe. Later, Mukono was created. And later, Luwero was also created. So,
despite several other dioceses having been carved out of Namirembe, the diocese remains unique in its own way. We probe Reverend Abraham Chisache Lubega to understand more on what the diocese still prides in its uniqueness.
We can trace the origin of the church from Namirembe because the first missionaries came from Namirembe. And if you remember our history, when whom we call colonialists, when the colonialists came here, they brought administration, and then the church came with religion. And so the first people, like Semei Kakungulu came from here, from Namirembe. And the Europeans used him so much to take both administration and religion to various places. So when we look at whatever we have today, the religion, the skills, education, the health, all started here. So that makes Namirembe unique, because many people call Namirembe a conservative diocese. Many people refer to Namirembe as a conservative diocese. But conservative in a way that we are so skeptical about changes. We do our own propagation in religion. We do our own governance, but also do our self-sustaining. And that makes us in Namirembe to be proud. Because if you go back to history, you will see Namirembe, I think, is the only diocese which is remaining, which ordains deacons and priests on the Sunday which is called First Advent. Because in our liturgy, First Advent is also the day for the scriptures, and the church of old was priesting and ordaining on that day. And Namirembe has retained that.
Next